All right, welcome back to Guitar Wishes and your Guitar Wish of the day. We are extremely excited today. We have in studio here at Guitar Wishes with us, Mr. John Schneider. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm fantastic.
Thank
Nice to
you
see you
so
today.
much. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Boy.
What a place. What an amazing place.
We've been here about 2 years.
Yeah.
And we were voted number 8 in the world from NAMM. And so, yeah.
Wow,
really
in the world.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what.
I can see why.
It's really taken off. And YouTube, we started back in February and doing some great interviews there. Got some great things down the road. Looks like a reality TV show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, some really, really cool things in the works.
A reality TV show about
guitars is part of it, yeah.
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 Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah, it's going to be
I'll watch that.
yeah. But
It's the only reality TV I watch.
You've got a great YouTube channel as well.
Thank you. I'm proud of my YouTube
If you
channel.
haven't been to his YouTube channel, you've got to go check this thing out. It's one of those things where you can watch one video and you're falling down a rabbit hole for hours and just watching and watching. And you look like you have so much fun doing this.
I do. And I got inspired by somebody I saw on YouTube and Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon. I saw some of Peter McKinnon stuff. And I was one of those old guys that thought, well, you know, what in the world? What can you do on YouTube that's really any different? I mean, I know how to make movies. And I watched this guy and I thought, wow, that's fun to watch. Right. And I took a lot of what he does, and then I think in the world of entertainment, I think I actually, sorry, Peter, I think I improved on it. Just because you got to have a great time. You have to be instructional, but you got to like he's got that. What's going on, everybody?
It's
and
energy.
I'm just dropping in,
Absolutely.
and then jumping out. It's fun. How about when I ran against the wall and my clothes fell off? So there you go. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to go check it out.
It's
called John Schneider, and it's on YouTube. It's my channel. So
and actually, on that channel, he actually jumps his first General Lee. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. A lot of people don't know that you never jumped the car.
I do now, thanks.
Yeah, well.
No. I say that on my YouTube channel too. Yeah.
But yeah, on his channel, he actually jumped his first one. How was that, man?
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, not nearly as the landing was fine. I don't even remember it because you're so pumped.
Right.
So that was great. Did you see where we blew up the outhouse?
Yeah.
It's a fun channel. Blew up
with
dynamite arrows. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the studio. Not a lot of people know as well that you have your own studio down in Louisiana.
Right, and people assume it's a music studio, but it's not. It's a movie studio.
Right.
We record music in Nashville.
Right. And now you were affected by the floods down there.
We were destroyed. Yeah, destroyed by the floods in 2016. We had two. We had the 100-year flood in March, and then the 1,000-year flood in August. So we had just recovered from the 100-year flood. And that, of course, was never going to happen again. And it didn't. It happened much worse.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Bad year, 2016.
Yeah. And so, but you're all rebuilt. And
higher.
Much higher.
We're rebuilt, but higher.
Much higher. Yeah. So, going back to the Dukes of Hazzard days. Now, you were a musician before then.
I was a guy with a guitar and a tip jar before I started Dukes of Hazzard in '78.
Right. Now, were you playing when you were up in New York? Because you're originally from New York.
Well, I did musical theater when I was in New York. I started playing guitar when I was in New York. My dad was my first guitar teacher.
Right.
But I was only 14 when I moved from there, so I wasn't really playing. I was doing magic, oddly enough, professionally before I moved to Atlanta. Right. But not playing guitar. But when I moved to Atlanta, I was the same size I am now, but 50 pounds heavier. When I was 14, 15. So at that point, nobody was carding anybody. So I was playing in places at 15 years old, 16 years old that I shouldn't have legally been in. Wow. With a tip jar and doing okay. Doing Jim Croce and Cat Stevens. And
great stuff. Yeah.
Some great stuff.
Yeah.
Bread.
And people here moving from New York to Atlanta, but it was not from the city to the country. It was from
the country to the city. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm from in New York, it's called Mount Kisco, New York. It's in Westchester County. Very green, very hilly.
Right.
Moss everywhere and water everywhere. Kind of like if you go off any main street here, and if somebody knocked you out next door here, and then you woke up where I grew up, you'd think you were in the same place.
Wow.
Yeah. But Atlanta, not so much. Atlanta was very cosmopolitan.
Right. Right.
So it was a shock to me, but in the reverse way that people think.
Yeah, and then, of course, Dukes of Hazzard hits big. You filmed in Covington and around that area.
Covington, Conyers, Social Circle.
Yeah. Yeah, and now
They were so happy I mentioned that on the YouTube channel.
were they really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he remembers it. Yeah, I remember. It was changed my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tons of things happened around that time. But during the Dukes days, you still, of course, were recording music. 4 #1 hits.
4 #1 hits. Yeah. The first record I did was for CBS and Scotty Brothers, and they had heard me sing "Still" on the People's Choice Awards, and so I got a call the next day. And they wanted me to come and talk, and I wound up doing the It's Now or Never album. But in 1976, I did an album called Small One. I was 16 years old, and I played the old auctioneer. And I sounded just like this at 16 years old. And so the first time I was in a recording studio was at Master Phonics in Atlanta off of Spring Street. And the only reason I bring all that up is that second episode of Dukes of Hazzard, Daisy's song, where someone has stolen her song, we shot the studio at Master Phonics off Spring Street in Atlanta. So the place I'd recorded the first time, 3 years later, I come back in a television show called Dukes of Hazzard. Now, no one had seen it yet,
Right.
so it wasn't a hit. It took about 5 minutes once it started to air for Dukes to become a hit. I mean, it was just right out of the gate.
Immediately.
It just screaming right out of the gate.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't have to grow on anybody. You
Sure.
either loved it or went, what? Right off the bat. Most people loved it, whether they admit it or not.
Yeah, and of course, I think still the highest charting
Elvis cover
of all time.
It's now or I'm raspy today again. It's now or never. That one, number 4. Number 4, which because of that, I am right now, as we sit here, in a small portion, but I'm at Graceland. I have a display
Really?
at Graceland because of the It's Now or Never song.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, and so much support from that camp. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Yeah, that's also Brian.
Is it?
Yes.
Brian Mays.
Yeah.
Is,
Yep,
Well,
yep,
that's
yep.
awesome stuff. So let's move forward, and the amount of work. Yeah, move forward. The amount of work that you do. The
You'll
amount
love my YouTube channel.
the amount of music you put out. Let's talk about Odyssey.
Okay,
50 songs.
52.
52 songs. That's
52
crazy.
songs. And we released, in 2018, we released a song, a single, every Tuesday.
Right.
Because I'd been out of music for a long time, and my amazing girlfriend at the time, now my amazing wife, caught me after the second flood. She caught me playing my guitar. I've got a wonderful 1936 Martin 0021.
Ooh.
Right? So I had that guitar out, and it had gotten wet. But she came in to talk to me about something, and I put it down, and she said, why did you do that? And I said, well, playing the guitar makes me feel better. She said, I didn't ask you why you picked it up. I asked you why you put it down. And I had been kind of burned, not badly by the music industry, but
Right.
I'm one of those guys. I do what I say I'll do, and I expect the same.
Yeah.
So if you all of a sudden don't do so, you can say, hey, John, I decided I couldn't do it. Okay, well, I get that.
Sure.
But don't say, I decided that the music really wasn't that different after all. You know, don't put it on me, because
Right.
we made an album.
Right.
The album I made last for, this is a rabbit hole, for MCA
Right.
was called You Ain't Seen the Last of Me,
Right.
oddly
Great
enough.
stuff. Yeah.
And very, very forward-thinking stuff, I think.
Oh, sure. It
So-
can be played today and still be hit on right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So we made a conscious effort to change the music, because I was trying to go for Southern rock, trying to change
Right.
stuff. So we did this new album. We had a new band when we did it. I toured with Alabama. We're playing 20, 30,000 seat houses. And the show was markedly different. But the publicity wasn't. The advertising campaign wasn't. The label didn't change anything about what they did. Right. So I came back, and the head of the label was my co-producer. I said, what the hell? You know, what's going on? Well, John, you know, after I've listened to it after a while, it's really not as different as we thought it was. So the label decided not to spend the money.
Oh.
You really?
Yeah.
So I called my agent at that time, and I don't believe in that. I believe in being a man or woman of your word.
Sure.
So I said, look, book me solid till the last date I have, and then that's it. I quit. I'm taking my toys and leaving. And I did. But Alicia talked me into doing an album called Ruffled Skirts, all about the floods in Louisiana, all about the tragedies bringing people together.
Sure.
And that became my real first kind of foray into Delta country blues, Southern rock. So we've kind of come up with a hybrid. Again, like You Ain't Seen the Last of Me, but an entirely different kind of music.
Sure.
So we do songs like, on the Odyssey project, songs like Early or Easy, which kind of sounds a little like Rolling Stones. So it was great.
Right.
And then, if that wasn't enough, the 52 songs, we realized that we didn't own the masters to all the greatest hits, the MCA stuff.
Right.
So the new thing to do there is just re-record them. So we re-recorded those. We did an acoustic version of all of those songs. Right. So that was 62. And if that wasn't enough, we had two Christmas songs on the Odyssey project that would be released in December. So we were already 2 songs closer to a Christmas album, so we decided to do a Christmas album. So we did 8 more.
Yeah.
So that's 52, that's 70.
That's
70 songs in a year.
That's unbelievable. And you've always been on the cutting edge of everything sonically. You did the first country music video, from what I understand.
I did. Yeah. Gosh, this is great. I did. Maybe I've been wrong. Stop and think it over. Very Merle Haggard song, I'm Going to Leave You Tomorrow. And I did a video in Pomona, California at a place, the name just escaped my mind, but it'll come to me later. And there was no place to show it. There was no CMT. There were no country music videos. Yeah. So I brought that back to Nashville. This is before we made You Ain't Seen the Last of Me. And actually, it was before What's a Memory Like You, Doing a Love Like This, too. So I brought it to the heads of the label, my producing partner, and they watched it and they said, "Man, that's great. And you sure can spend your money any way you want, but believe us when we say that videos will never have anything whatsoever to do with the sale of country music."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, and those were the people running the show. They also said there was no sense in putting a barcode on country music because the artists, myself, Ronnie Millsap, a bunch of Steve Earle, Hank Jr., Dwight Yoakam, were saying, look, there are more people at a NASCAR race on any given weekend during NASCAR season than are at the Super Bowl. So if NASCAR fans are inherently more, they would lean toward country music, which we think they do,
right?
Then it would stand to reason that country music would outsell rock and roll if given a chance.
If given a chance, yeah.
And everybody said, absolutely not. You're
no
out
way
of your minds. There's no way of tracking it. In those days, they had rack jobbers. They would have a van and they would bring a whole bunch of records to Turtles Records and Tower Records and all these record stores. And they'd bring 20 John Schneider records and 20 Dwight Yoakam records. And then they'd come back in a month. And if there were 18 left, they'd give them 2 more. Right. So if there are 18 left, then you aren't selling very many. But if there were none left, they'd give them 20 more. Yeah. And there was no way to tell whether those records sold in 30 days or 30 minutes.
Right.
So they did finally decide. I had a manager named a publicist named Pam Lewis, and we were fighting this fight. And right around that time, the thing with You Ain't Seen the Last of Me happened, and Alabama, that whole thing. So I left, but right at the tail end of that fight, I left. So Pam moved on and kept the fight going, and started with a new artist, kept the fight going, and actually convinced them, and I believe it was Pam that did this, convinced the machine to shut her up, to put a barcode sound scan on a country record to prove all these hillbillies wrong. And that record was Garth Brooks' first album. So what hillbillies were wrong? But I do feel a lot like I'm the guy that worked on that mayonnaise jar and said, okay, I'm tired here, I'm leaving. And then you went,
and there it is.
And there it is. There it is. Yeah. I don't even think Garth really knows about because when he came in, it was the barcode. I don't know that he knew that was anything special because it was on everything.
Right.
I don't think Christian music had it on there then either. And Carmen and Stephen Curtis Chapman were the ones that fought for a barcode on Christian music.
It's a shame that they're having to fight for it in any genre.
Well,
it should just be the standard.
Because it's an extra expense. It's another step.
Right.
And country music really believed that it was unnecessary, which is sad. But that's what happens when people sit in an office and they don't come out and meet people. They don't come out and see how much this music means to people and how many people it means something to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not their fault, but they should listen to the people. If you want your house painted better, you should go talk to a painter. Right?
Yeah.
Talk to somebody who knows what they're doing and take their advice.
Right. Well, you talk about listening to and giving back to the people. You've also been involved with some incredible charities throughout the years. Helped co-start actually the Children's Miracle
Network hospitals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
And,
thank you.
Yeah, that's and how that's taken off. And
oh my gosh, 37 years.
Yeah, 37 years. Actually, somebody here, Deanna McGinnis, actually sat beside of you, working phones.
How are you?
Working phones with Children's Miracle Network back in the day.
That's fantastic.
And she's actually also part of our Papa Bill's Guitar Camp that we have started here in honor of Papa Bill Calhoun, who just passed away recently, but we're keeping his spirit and his musical legacy alive
That's wonderful.
by helping kids in the community get started with music. And we have that camp every year. And so actually we have a guitar on the wall that was just driven down by a gentleman several states away who, he just wanted to donate and give back to Papa Bill's Guitar Camp.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it was great. So,
we just gave about 2 weeks ago, Alicia and I gave one of my guitars to a young man that we ran into at a concert out in a cornfield. And this little guy had so much personality, and he was fascinated with my guitar. He came on the bus and he's playing my guitar, and I think he was like Wade. I think he was playing it upside down and backwards. But he was playing, he was figuring it out.
Sure.
So about 2 weeks ago, we sent him a nice guitar, and lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I get a nicer guitar.
Wow.
So there's something to that. If you want to help somebody, do it, because chances are God is paying attention, and we'll give you a little bonus for it. Don't do it for the bonus, because I had no idea any of this was happening. But do it. If all of a sudden you feel like doing a nice thing for somebody, do it. Do it. Or if you look across a room somewhere and say, that person needs somebody to say that you like their shirt or their shoes or their hair or anything, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. Just do it. Do a nice thing for today. Do a nice thing for somebody today, and see what happens tomorrow.
Absolutely. And it was an honor and a blessing. You Vintage Guitars.
Yes.
They were very excited about you coming in. Vintage Guitars and RBI. They wanted us to present you with this acoustic. This is
so great. I do.
That's a drop shoulder dreadnought from Vintage.
A drop shoulder dreadnought
from Vintage Guitars and RBI.
01.
And along with that, this is a basso strap. Now, a basso is from Brazilian made, and they wanted you to have this as well. They're all part of the RBI family.
This is great. Sorry. Leather. That's what you do. That's what you do. This is fantastic. Wow. And it's padded?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I love it. Well, I tell you what, I will this is play my dad's chords. I broke a nail. I broke a fingernail last night, which if you're not a guitar player, then that doesn't mean anything to you. But if you are, I'm not going to hold up the finger where the nail but suffice it to say it's in the middle.
It's one of those, yeah.
And I keep catching it. I keep catching the quick, as my grandmother would call it.
Oh, it's beautiful. So again,
Dad's chord. Dad's chord. This is beautiful. Thank you, Vintage
Yeah,
Guitars. And
yeah.
I love, this is what my my Martin looks like.
Oh yeah.
What do you call that? What do you call the
The slotted headstock, yeah.
slotted headstock? I knew that. I just want to see if they knew.
And once again, thank you so much to the guys at Vintage and RBI for
Thank
this
you
incredible
very,
guitar,
very, very
and
much.
for Basso for the strap. Thank you guys very, very much.
Yeah, the strap is beautiful. I'm going to use this tonight. I'll use it. And yep, it's got electronics
it's got
in it. So we
Fishman
just-
electronics in it. It's a spruce top, mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck. Beautiful instrument. And again, thanks to you guys.
Oh, wait, and what do I do on the videos? Bam! And
Bam, there
and
it
then
is.
it's gone. Wait, can you do that? You want to cut the? Can you do that for me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we just be calm. That's why this stuff works so well. Okay, this is what I do on YouTube videos. This is a great guitar, and now it's gone.
I don't know how he did that.
I don't know. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man.
Pretty amazing.
John, thanks so much.
You're
I can't
welcome.
Thank you. I had a blast. That was great. It was a real blast. Again, thank you, Alicia and John, so very much for your time today. And I have to thank Brian Mays out at Nashville Publicity Group for your help in getting everybody here. If you want to know more about John, check out johnschneiderstudios.com. And be sure to check out guitarwishes.com, our Facebook site. And be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Smash that notification bell so you're informed of new content uploaded daily. Man, it's been a great time having you in the store. Thank you very
Bro,
much.
it's so much fun. Thank you. Now I'm going to, okay, ready? Ready? Okay.
Where did he go?
Make me look good.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that very, very
You're
much.
welcome.
All right.
You're welcome.
John Schneider, everybody.
Cheese, I just got a new vintage guitar. Look.
Hey Lee,
Yeah.
where are we going?
We're going upstairs into the studio.
Who are we going to see?
John Schneider.
John Schneider. Boom, dude.
Really just wanting to play acoustic. And in Louisiana, we do our festival now, which is our big thing.
Get in there. What do you think about the General Lee?
It's neat.
This is Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve.
Hey, Uncle Steve.
Where is it? There it is. I knew it was there somewhere.
Cruising for a bruising.